Hello, strategy gaming fans around the globe, and welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we're finding, learning, turning the great strategy games. Today, back into Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. It's raining still. We're almost done with this turn, though, and we will almost be to the end of April when we turn this turn. When I left you last time, we had a few more units to move. I actually moved most of them, and we'll go into that. We'll talk about where I moved, what's going on the map, and what's next. What is next? I don't know. Hello, David Bartello. John Chappell is here. Thank you for dropping by. I am in a great mood. It is Friday. Hello, Marcus Aurelius. Um, it's Friday. What could go wrong? Let's play the game. My wife is away filming a wedding in Santa Barbara, beautiful Santa Barbara. Some kind of elopement or something. I don't know what she's doing, but that means we may go a little longer. Now, I've always talked about my wife's very supportive. She's got her own Instagram, YouTube, and all that. So, she totally gets it. That being said, when she's not here, it's a little easier to stream a little longer. So you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Most of you are probably married. The demographic skews on my channel. It's funny because YouTube has all of those statistics, and the demographic skews definitely above 30. So most of you have dipped your toe into the marriage into the marriage well at least once. At least once. Hey Nordhammer, how are you? So anyway, I mean, we'll just kind of go. I'd like to get out of this rain so that tomorrow when we start our stream, maybe we're thinking about getting offensive. I'm also going to have to do an episode just setting up our air units to the extent people want to watch that. I'll probably just record it. I don't know that that lends itself to live streaming when I'm saying, why won't this AOG go to this base? So, I don't know if you guys want to sit around and watch it. Maybe you do. I don't know. I'm just going to record it. I'll throw it up on the channel. Yes, Marcus, Santa Barbara is fantastic. I lived in Santa Barbara years ago now, like 2003 through 2005. It's a beautiful place. Then I lived in, I'm from Chicago. I lived in Chicago forever. But once COVID hit, my wife and I looked at each other and we said, why in the hell are we staying in Chicago? If I can do my job remotely. So we said, let's pack everything up. We drove across the country, and we actually live in Ventura, which is like 25 miles south of Santa Barbara. It's in between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles, and we love this sleepy little surfer town. I mean, it's the main place here is called Surfers Point, so you kind of get the flavor of what Ventura is all about. It's pretty much beautiful every day. You can't beat that. And I love Chicago. Chicago is a great town. It gets a terrible reputation because of all the violence, but all of that violence is gang related and pretty much is in a few neighborhoods. The rest of the city is fantastic, but you can't beat the weather out in California, I'll tell you. What's up, Scott P? How are you? Uh, Oh, Nordhammer says first week of August we'll get the Army Group B that I was asking about last time. Thank you, Nord. That's excellent because we've got some. I'm not going to say we got big command problems in the South, but we've been funneling units in there, turn after turn, and we've got something like Sixth Army's got like 43 out of its potential 27 command points that it's using. So. Camp Pendleton. Okay. All right. Yeah, we were just down in San Diego. David says he was stationed at Camp Pendleton. We were just down in San Diego, I don't know, like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, something like that. And I love San Diego, but it's kind of crazy. You drive north out of San Diego, and I mean, Camp Pendleton goes on for ever. And I don't know what they were doing out there, the SEAL team training or something, but there were helicopters everywhere. I thought, gosh, did the invasion start? Nobody told me. Anyway, usually I try to chat for 2 minutes so people can get here. I guess I'm on 5 minutes now, so you can tell it's a Friday. Hey, Michael F., how are you? Let's go. Let's talk about it. So down here in the south, this is where I kind of left it. I had some with what is this 17th Army down here. I had some kind of strange commands going on. They weren't all stacked together. And so I kind of evened up some of these commands, or maybe that's not the best way to do it. Say it. I put some of these divisions to the headquarters that they're closest to. So you can see now 52nd Corps has these guys. What is this? 49th Mountain has these guys here. And then if we come around, 4th Corps now has these divisions here. So I just kind of lined that up. The Soviets aren't attacking, so the penalty that you get for changing commands, I was like, let's go for it. I also tried to even up as much as I could the support units, although once I get down here, it's always a problem I talk about. I put too much in the north and the center. By the time I get to the south, I don't have enough to, divvy out. Um, so anyway, I've tried to put some here, there, and everywhere. We'll have to bring more down now. This is okay. 3 artillery, 3 flak, 1 rocket. I'd like to get a Stug down here if we can. 4th Corps, 3 artillery, 3 flak, 2 pioneers, a construction, and a rocket. Well, you can't do much better than that. Unless we had more Stugs available. And speaking of which, we'll come back to this in a second. Let's go look at our reserves. On the ground, if I zoom in here, we've got 18th Panzer. 18th Panzer still only at about 70%. Well, we're not going to launch the offensive next turn, so it doesn't seem to make sense to pull him out now. He may as well just sit back here. We've got these replacement battalions, the Panzer battalions, 65. I mean, we're going to have to pull them out at some point because they're not getting filled up. So we may as well get them on the board. But I'm not going to do it this turn. I'm going to give it one more turn and hopefully 1 or 2 or 3 of these replacement battalions will start to get. I just want them to be over 80%. I think it's kind of ridiculous to pull them out at 61%. Because this is that heavy panzer that's going to stay depleted. I'm not exactly sure when the game starts rolling out the heavy tanks, the Leopard, and the German heavy tanks that you get. I'm not exactly sure when that happens. These 4 infantry. Well, they're not all battalions. We've got, or divisions, I'm sorry. We've got 3 divisions here. They just came in this time. We've got some artillery back here, but it's not filled up, obviously. Anti-air, we've got enough light flak. I'm not going to just pull it out to pull it out. We could, yeah, see, we've only got 33% on the heavy flak because that does get the 88 guns, and we've got none right now. We've probably pulled them all out. I'm looking for 21 AFVs. That's when oh, that's the Panzerjägers, but the Stugs are filled up when they have 21. Now, this one's got 18. It's at 85%. I'll go ahead and bring that on the map. It's not perfect, but we got to start getting some of this stuff on the map because you don't want to bring it on the map the turn you're going to actually start your offensive because they do get a penalty, moving. So, Scott P says, set one of the Panzer battalions to refit. I could, but I've got so many in the reserves, they get first priority anyway. Yeah, I could do that M60. I could take them, out of the reserves. I don't think any of them are on refit. I could be wrong. By the way, M60, I did read your comment under the last video. Now, M60 had what I think is a very valid idea. I'm not sure I'm going to follow it, but I do think it's very valid. And he said, given how stretched out you are, this big Pripyat offensive maybe doesn't make sense, right? Because it's going to be very hard to support it with infantry up and around the envelopment. I don't disagree with you, and it may turn into that, but I'm going to go try to cut those rail lines and damage them up to 100% first. And then when we get out there with the panzers, the motorized, whatever, we may say we cannot sustain this kind of pocket, this size of pocket. We just don't have enough units. In that case, I'll then try to shift around and make the pocket smaller. But what I'm hoping to do at the very least is cut those rail lines. And if we can get those rail lines damaged to 100%, I think the Soviets will have a hard time getting railroad repair out there. And then everything in those marshes all of a sudden starts degrading. And then we just, we take everything we've got into the marshes and try to, get anything to surrender or shatter or just, destroy everything we can. At least that's the idea. So I'm not necessarily wedded to the idea of making that a complete pocket. Um, Now, I do know that they could, obviously, I know that if we don't cut off, every Soviet hex that's red and it connects into the marshes, they can get trucks through there. But those trucks, it's going to be very hard. They're in some cases they're what 300 miles, 400 miles into those marshes. So I'm not sure that they would be able to sustain that. But it's a very good point, and definitely one that I've taken under advisement. M60 certainly. Um, okay, I don't think any of these are on refit. So I mean, ultimately, I'm going to let them sit here in the reserves. We could take them out, and then it's going to evenly go out to all the Panzer divisions. Um, but I'm going to leave them here for now, except for the one that I pulled. We'll have those coming in next time. These infantry divisions, three of them. This Sturm Infantry Battalion. I don't know much about this one. It's at 73%. Okay. We'll pull it out at some point here before we get going. I mean, we don't really know. In the old game, you could always kind of time it because you knew when the winter was over, then you knew when the rain was over. Um, so, this game with the dynamic weather, it's going to be somewhere in the range of the next 2 to 3 turns where the rain stops. We did have this turn, the rain actually stopped or in and around Smolensk and Vitebsk, but we're showing it's going to rain next turn. So, I mean, we'll just have to see. That's one thing I really like about this game is the dynamic weather is, you can't know for sure. You can't time it, which seems a little gamey, right? So anyway, okay, moving back down here to the south, I did set up. I I can't remember if I did this online or offline, but 26th ID I did put in this second core. So he's now part of this kind of German holding force that's here. It's east of these marshes and a little bit south here. I don't know what he has out here, but ultimately, I mean, we've got panzers and motorized. This is not that far to get over here. And if we look at his rail situation, this rail comes down here and this rail comes down here. It's really these two locations. If we got out here, we could cut off, I don't know, 10 or 15 divisions maybe. Who knows what he's got out here, but probably at least 10 if we just, bust right through there when it dries up. With these panzers, they've had to hold the line. I still haven't quite decided what to do with them. I mean, I don't really think we can bring them all the way around to be part of this offensive. If nothing else, we're a little thin out here. So, I mean, it's possible we could try to come across here to Kremenchug, Cherkasy, stay north of the Dnieper and try to like cut rail lines out here because he's probably got another, I don't know, 15 or 20 divisions up in this bulge here. We'll see. We'll see. So I think for this turn, we've done everything that I want to do anyway. I think I've gotten the commands better. We've moved things around, preparing for the offensive. We're trying to, hold out here on the marshes. We've now got Hungarians coming in. Romanians are here. It's a real international party out here in the Pripyat marshes. Uh, so I say we turn the turn. Let's do it. I've looked at all the depots. The depots are set up. So off we go. We'll see if the Soviets attack this time. And you see there's the raindrops. So it's now going to rain again this turn for us, at least right here in the southern Pripyat marshes. Uh, okay, for a while we really needed the rain. Uh, Now I'm kind of ready for it to be over. Although, we are going to get counterattacks. I'm making it sound like we're just going to be totally on the offensive. Obviously, in 42, the Soviets are going to be much improved. We're not going to catch them by surprise. We don't have the first turn advantage, all of that kind of stuff. So, it's going to be a little give and take. Let's put it that. A little more give and take than it was in 1941. But it's going to be April 26th here. What is this? April showers bring May flowers. We'll go put a daisy in one of the Soviets' rifle units' rifle. Let them know that we care. Uh, hey, Lucas, what's up? How are you? I would agree, M60. Some of those Romanian units that are down south for sure, they probably don't need to be there. But honestly, in the Crimea, I'm kind of looking at it as Romanian territory at this point. We may get counterattacked there in the summer. That's the only reason I'm keeping them around. Uh, Marcus says, does anyone know how morale affects combat value? Well, it is the number one determinant. It's the most important stat in the game is morale. So, that's why when I look at the generals, all their other scores are, important, certainly, but morale is number one because it has the biggest effect other than, what armaments they have and how many men they have. But when you're just looking at the stats of a unit, all other things being equal, morale is the most important thing. So, that's one advantage the Germans have is they have a very high national morale at the start that does start to go down over time. Um, to the point where by 44 or 45, I think it's not parity, but it's getting close. And so, yes, morale is incredibly important. All right. Sorry I didn't move my big head. The Soviets are running recon again. I figured out I could click over on air directive and see what they're running, and you can see. Well, you probably can't see. I can't do it. He is bombing cities, and I'm not sure what cities he's bombing. Quite frankly, I was going to look at our log this time, but then I forgot to. So I know that he's bombing a city or two. It's not much. It's not much at all, really. But he has done some city bombing here or there. Um, but it's almost all recon. So he ran like 300 sorties. I think he lost about 30 planes. Build assault fronts. Okay, so we're already past his attack phase, and he did not attack. So another turn of no Soviet attacks. Uh, the weather was a little drier in the center of the map the last time, so I was actually kind of surprised he didn't. I'm not privy to the AI's thinking. I do know he's got a lot of units, but he's got a lot of weak units, right? Our biggest problem hasn't necessarily been getting attacked and just getting blown out. Our biggest problem is just plugging gaps because he's got so many units that he's slipping through places, and we've been having to try to hold that. But in a lot of these places, he's got one attack value, two defensive value, or two and three or something. So, maybe wisely the AI has decided not to do any attacking. He's trying to hold ground. I will be curious to see if the AI is smart enough to try to pull back a little bit and maybe set up on the Dnieper, for instance. Because out here in the middle, he would probably be best. Like, this is a great example. These units here, he'd probably be best to put them behind the Dnieper here, but I don't see any indication that he's actually doing that. Now, maybe he will do it. I don't know, but we haven't seen it yet. All right, that was his freight. Now it's our turn. It's now April 26th. April 26, 1942. Soviets moving in the Pripyat marshes, combating German aggression. It is now turn 45. Wow. Where's all the time gone? Yes, Lucas, that is true. That is something I should have made clear. When you're sending supplies by air, you can select the base airfield from the list that appears. You don't need to use the automatic first selection the game does. Indeed, indeed. Now, I've always found that usually it tries to find the best one. And so if it's showing me something that's very close to the front, I just figure there's nothing better. But you are correct. We should probably start looking around a little bit more. Yep. Good point. Good point. Hey, what's up, Erzbeck? How are you? Yes, he is going to have rifle corps soon. Nordhammer, you are correct. Uh, yeah, and also I don't again, I haven't played the Soviets in a very long time in the first game, and I haven't played them at all in this game. But his tank battalions, he can start forming tank. I don't know. I don't know how the Soviet side works in this game. Um, okay, it's game time. Friendly losses. We lost 14,622 men last turn. A lot of that is attrition. You know, they're rubbing up against Soviet forces out here. I don't mean that in a, NC-17 way. I mean that in a PG way. They are attriting out here as they fire back and forth as they sit next to each other. So we lost 14,000 men, 176 guns, and 37 AFVs. Okay. We gained 36,000 men on the map as we do bring a few things back. We got some guns back on the map. We get 38 AFVs on the map. So all told, looks like we produced about 75 AFVs, give or take a few. Theater boxes built up a little bit for us. The Soviets get 42,000 new men on the map, 828 new guns, 181 AFVs as they double us in guns. Man, the Soviets love artillery, don't they? He lost some planes off the map, but who knows what that's about. Okay, how many trucks do we have in our units? Well, we got about a 45,000 truck deficit to what we would like to have in our units, which would be about 300,000. We have 34,000 in depots, okay, 10,000 in the pool, and we'll be very happy to know that we're down under 130,000 trucks under repair. Now, there was no better paying job in Germany during World War II than truck repair. If you were a mechanic and you've got 128,000 trucks that need repair, you could probably charge some really high rates to the Nazi government. Although that may have been a bad idea for other reasons. Tons received. We got almost 25,000 this time. That is going up every turn. I mean, we were as low as 11,000. It's gone to 14, 17. Now we're up to almost 25. We were requesting almost 50, though. So we're getting about half of what we want or need, probably. Tons received of, this is guns. Men received 127,000. So we're getting a lot of replacements in because you see, we only added 36,000 to the map. That's really new in units, whatever. But we're also funneling in new men into whether it be the reserves or otherwise. Ton differential, 34,000. Yep, you know, we didn't get all the guns, we didn't get all the men that we wanted, and that's part of that tons differential as well. We continue to sit at 524 victory points. Not that that matters anymore. We did get a Stug battalion on the map. We got we got an infantry battalion into the reserves. Well, that's interesting. Okay, we haven't gotten infantry battalion or divisions. I'm sorry, into the reserves often. Usually they come on as reinforcements, but this one actually went into the reserves. Mixed flak, static division in Norway. Oh, okay, we got 2 infantry divisions. Maybe those are the 2 I put back there. Sorry. Train of thought went off the tracks there. 44th, 267th. We put those in the reserves, I think. Okay. Dateline. April 26, 1942. Soviet partisans. The same old message you get every time. We've done that. Let's go look at the weather, which you may have heard is important in this game. This is on the ground, okay? So we've got light mud, I mean, over the majority of the map, where we're fighting anyway. We've got heavy mud to the north. All right, so up in the Leningrad area, we've got heavy mud, light mud. Now, the ground conditions never change, at least in my version of the game, which is still 1.00.00. Uh, okay, let's look at the weather in the air. It is shit. Sorry. It is raining again. Okay, rain, the blue. We do have some heavier rain, kind of down here to the south a little bit. Let's see what it's going to show us at the end of the turn. This system kind of moved over this way. I'm not a meteorologist, but I think low pressure, I don't know. Hell, I don't know. I thought it was meant better weather, right? I thought No, that's not true. That's not true. High pressure means better weather because the air goes out to low pressure areas, and low pressure is bad weather. Sure. I didn't totally make that up. I'm pretty sure that's how weather works. High pressure is when you get sunny, clear. Low pressure, barometric. We're speaking barometrically here. Low pressure, the air flows out to fill those gaps, and that's when you get bad weather. That's what I think. Interesting, M60. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's not a bad idea, certainly. And now that I've told you how little I know about weather forecasting, it's raining, and it looks like it's going to continue raining next turn, which probably a little bit informs us what we should do this turn. Now, out here in the north, we've got this all set up, or certainly we should. Oh, you know what? We'll go look at this. Let's go look at the graphs. On the map, our map men continue to rise. The Soviets look like this is a leading wedge. If you're talking stocks, that means it's about to drop through. I always try to liken this to stocks because I sit around and watch the stock market most of the day. Don't tell my employer. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're getting stuff out of reserves, bringing it back. All in all, we've got about a 1.5 million men advantage, or a disadvantage. I wish a disadvantage when it comes to men. That's why we've got to trap as many men as we can. Map guns. The Soviets love their artillery, certainly. AFVs, yeah, I mean, we're like at a 3, it's 2-to-1. Now, the Soviets don't have as good at AFVs in early 1942. The T-34s, I don't know when they come in mass. I just don't. Not in this game anyway. So, I mean, I'm sure one of you guys know, but right now we definitely. I mean, that looks okay, but I don't want to attack into a fort level if we don't have to. Nothing to be done there, I don't think. I think I will attack here, though. 1.2 to 0.3. Oh, shit. That's a lot stronger than I thought it was. Or what it was saying it was, I should say, really. He's still got an attack left. What do we have here? Yeah, that's not good odds. You can see he started to expand out here a little bit in the north. I don't like that. Let's try to hit there. All right, so we route that out. That was 1,000 men to 200. Okay. Popped him back. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing, It looks like he's consolidated a little bit or dropped some things back. He's not pressuring as hard out here, certainly. If we look at our defensive values, we've got 21, 26, 29, 21. I mean, this all looks strong. He's not, well, of course, this is the weakest we've got out here. And he's got a cavalry unit there. I don't really like that. I hate to give up a fort level. Eh, we'll give this one more turn, but a cavalry unit sometimes has enough movement points to get through as a fairly weak zone of control. We'll have to monitor the situation as they say. Um, I agree, M60. We're gonna ignore the north. Pretty much. I mean, I'll move forward to the extent we can. I'll take obvious attacks, but I'm not trying to do anything special up in the north. We've got two full, big time units up here. They're actually getting full supply. That's because Valeki Luki is a super depot. Um, that got pretty decent. 104. You can see the supply 104 there and 87% on the bullets. That's the most ammunition these guys have had since they came on the map. He's at 58. Okay. I guess I'll take these two guys. Um, okay, he built up a little bit too. I'll take these two and hit here and just knock him out of here. So that's 2,800 men, 74 to 1. Off you go. Let's see what kind of odds I get here. Probably, yeah, we negative Ghost Rider. Um, Nothing to do there. We don't know what that is. This is probably our weakest unit along here, I think. 13,000, yeah, that looks good. So this unit, I would like to scoot back at some point, but this isn't the turn to do it. So, all of this held throughout the winter. Somehow. It was a brilliant tactical retreat. That's what I'm going to tell my kids someday. 15,000, what do we got here? 3.8 to 2.1. 3.8 to 1. Yeah, I'm not going to take just little crap attacks like that. That doesn't do us a whole lot of good. It looks like 29th Motorized is built back up. These guys are actually built back up too, I think. 82 and 92. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. 29th Motorized, 83 and 88. Okay. Okay, I'll take it. So just moving these things back on the rail lines now, we don't need to send anything back to the reserves at all. And I think we'd come to that conclusion a couple of turns ago. I still did send a few things back, but I just don't think it's necessary at all now because they're rebuilding on the rail lines. So um, I could move them out here, but I don't really see why yet. I'll just move them a little south on the road. They can just sit here and wait and prepare because given the way the AI reacts, it reacts to reacts to panzer divisions or things in the panzer armies. So the more I bring out here, the more he's going to mass here. He's already done it a little bit. So we're just going to leave it be. Just put him on the road. That's fine. And I could give them, let's give them to von Schweppenberg. There he is, 24th motorized. Yeah, he doesn't have anything right now. They're both going to 2nd Panzer Army. So let's put them up in 24th motorized. All right. And we'll just let von Schweppenberg take what von Manstein does not. Oh, we're back up to 24 AP. So why don't we actually make 2nd Panzer Army an assault army? Uh, they don't need to dig in anymore out here. They're fine. He needs to command more anyway. So let's go ahead and just put that as an assault army. You see, he pops up to 45, which I do believe will allow us. We'll bring in 57th underneath Guderian. 52nd Panzer Army. There it is. Okay. So now he's under Guderian as well. And we'll have everything motorized that we've got. Uh, Although I will say, damn it, I wish that I had Hermann Hoth where von Schweppenberg is. But, so Hoth is a 6878. Okay. Von Schweppenberg is a 6668. Von Schweppenberg's come up in the world a little bit, so it's not the biggest deal. All right. So 3rd Panzer Army doesn't have Jack Diddley really at this point. We've got 18th motorized. He's in 57th. We can start moving these guys over a little bit as well. We'll just get them on a roadway. I don't care which one really. He's in 57th. All right, he's fine sitting in Vitebsk, I think. That's all right. We've got these two. We've got 20th that I'll move up here with them. All right. This Panzer division's in here, but now von Manstein has 12. So we'll put him in 57th. Is he already in 57th? He's 56th. Okay, we got 56th and 57th. Remind me if I confuse those two. Where's 56th? There he is. All right. So now he's with von Manstein, and we'll pull him out here just to get him in command range. And now he is. 6th Panzer, that looks fine. 171, 207. These guys have really built up out here. Maybe not this one quite as much. Let's see what their elements look like. Okay, yep. The vast majority of their tanks now, well, I say the majority of their tanks, 2/3 of their tanks have now been repaired. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, that was our biggest problem before. We had a lot of tanks, like the 3Ls, which are like your bread and butter tank. 44 ready, 10 damage. So as you can see, once the winter rules are over, makes a hell of a difference. Now we've got these guys over here that are part of 47th Motorized. 47th Motorized is also in 2nd Panzer Army. That is Volkers, who I don't like very much. What corps commanders do I have for 3rd out here? So where are his corps commanders? Oh shit, he's only got one left? Crud. I wish I could put Hoth underneath Guderian, but that's not going to go well in the break room. When they go to get coffee together, that may lead to a fight. Rotate 3rd Panzer to Minsk region. Great idea, Lucas. We are going to do that, as a matter of fact. Von Lieb, his units are eating their boots. They are indeed. They are indeed. Yes, we are. I am going to move 3rd Panzer down that way. When I don't know if I'm going to do it this turn, but yes, I am going to move them down there. Okay, so we've got all that. These guys were fine. I don't think there was anybody else we needed to do anything with out here. We had them all set up, as far as I know. This is Vuthman. Vuthman is out here. Originally a motorized corps. I've got him commanding infantry because that's kind of the situation we got into. This French infantry, I want to get the hell out of here, to be honest with you. He doesn't add much. I would like to get something right in there so I can move these 2 motorized. It's just a question of the best way to do it. Let's attack here. I mean, I'm just going to go in with overwhelming force to make sure we blow him out of there. All right. Wow, 6,800 men. Okay, I'll take that. Now then, I really need him to go as well. I probably should have saved this guy. Well, wait a minute. I did. See, that's what happens when I'm looking at defensive values. All right, let's try to blow this guy out of here, and he blows out. That's 3,000. All right, that's helpful because I can scoot him forward. I can scoot. eh, I hate giving up fort levels, but we're kind of at the point where I'm not sure it's a big deal now. Um, let's scoot him back there. Okay, he'll stay there. That's fine, actually. I don't think he can squeeze in there anyway. And now we can get Das Reich. Oh, shit. I used up all of his crap. Okay, well, we'll get him off the line next time. Um, anything here? Let's knock him out of here if we can. We knocked him back. 759. 551. What's the odds there? I mean, we're hoping to trap all these units, so, unless you just have overwhelming odds, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, this Panzer division's the one I wanted to move. I'm not sure if we have anything to move into its... Well, we got a triple stack here. I guess we move the strongest of the three over. I mean, that is a fort level 3, so, I mean, he should be able to withstand that. Let's get the Panzers off the line. And now we've got infantry set up here. I'm going to leave them there, and now we've got all of our motorized here except for Das Reich. I think that's Das Reich, yep. We have this headquarters, 13th, that's Zorn. We can move him somewhere else. Remind me of that. We also have... We can make another army an assault army. I eventually want to make it Fourth Army, and I'll subsume all of Second Army, but I'm not going to do it now. And then Second Army, I'll move over and make all of this Second Army, but not for now. All right, I think that's all fine. Just fine. What kind of odds do we get there? Let's give it a shot. All right, Michael Jackson's back. 862. Okay, this ended up holding. We held him off this rail line somehow. I don't know. I'm actually quite surprised we did. This looks overwhelming. We'll take that one if we can. Routed out 27. Yeah, shit, that was 2/3 of his men. What do we get here? All right, we'll give it a. Yeah, that one's stuck. I mean, we got the better of that, but that's not really worth it at this point in time. This is an area, we got to get this panzer out of here. Now, these panzers, as Lucas very rightly pointed out, can become the core or the backbone of our third panzer army. And we'll bring, well, we've already got a motorized corps down here. We've got 46th. So let's go ahead and bring Hoth down here. I mean, hell, he can march all the way down here. He doesn't even need the rail, guys. This guy's a marching master. 46, we'll put you in 3rd Panzer Army. All right, now those guys are that neon green. Okay, we do have this infantry that came in. He's directly under the control of army groups. Oh, under OKH. Okay, well, hmm. Let's move this motorized over and around here. And I need another core yet another core headquarters down here somewhere. Let's bring him around this way. We'll give him to 46th. All right. 46 motorized. There we go. Okay, now he needs to come on. Get off the train, my friend. All right. He can scoot forward. Man, he can't make it very far. Goodness. Is that right? Hold on. Let's back this up for a second. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, why can't he move further than that just in general? Okay. Um, Now we also have this infantry. Let's put that infantry there, and then we'll take the Panzer division